And all the lights were left burning throughout downtown. And amidst the skyscrapers, the searchlights marked the way to the Pillsbury Center. The Twins are putting on a big World Series bash this evening. Invited guests getting into the mood for tomorrow's home opener. You look like a man with a case of schizophrenia here. What's the story, Minnesota or St. Louis?
My heart goes with the Twins because on April 6, 1987, I picked the Twins and the Cards in the World Series. And this is a dream series come true.
Twins owner Carl Pohlad couldn't be happier as the team he took over just 3 years ago now has the chance to be world champs. And what politician would miss the chance to mix with all these excited Twins fans? What do you think about the Twins' chances as a baseball fan?
4 games. The first 2 for sure, you know, we're going to win because we're here and all charged up.
So you're talking sweep?
Sweep. I don't talk about anything else. You know, I'm a politician. Sweep.
Downtown will be hopping late into the night as the clock keeps ticking towards Game 1. A conservationist would probably tell you that all the lights in the city tonight is one big waste of energy. But don't tell that to Twins fans who have waited 22 long years for the World Series to return to Minnesota. In Minneapolis, I'm Dave Andrews for the Eyewitness News Update.
This is Ruth Spencer. The rising Twins fever has the workers at Ross Sportswear running from machine to machine at a quickened pace. They're the ones who print all the T-shirts and sweatshirts adorned with Twins pride, items now in huge demand. A lot of that Twins pride was walking around the offices in downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul, something of a World Series holiday that had the whole workforce talking baseball.
So this morning, as I was getting dressed and putting on my sweatshirt, I'm standing there just singing, and you know, I thought this isn't me doing this, but it's fun.
And while the legitimate working press covered the players at the Dome, a pair of teenagers with camera and microphone, but without credentials, sneaked in and got an interview with Tom Kelly, much more than their teacher ever thought possible.
He said that we wouldn't be able to get in, but we did, so there you go, Pete.
Security caught on, though, and the 2 boys were taken out.
All right, tonight in our Minnesota feedback phone survey, we've been asking, should ticket scalping be legal in Minnesota? So far, 782 of you said yes, it should be legalized. 558 say it should not be. Now, if you'd like to vote, there's still time. Call 1-900-210-3280 for yes, or 1-900-210-3284 for no. Each call costs you 50 cents. The results later in this very newscast.
Let's go on to Mark Curtis now and get the very latest on the Twins and the Cards.
And we just want to remind everyone that our pregame coverage begins at 6:30 right here on Channel 5 with Louis Anderson and Mike Smithson, our guest analysts. Game is less than 24 hours away. You would think that the players, especially the Twins, would be maybe a little bit tight tonight. Pumped up maybe, but I honestly don't think that they're worried. As Gaetti said today, hey, we don't know what to expect. We've never been to a series before. Both teams ran through their final practices today at the Dome. One thing about it, if they're not ready now, they never will be. Mark Stevens has more.
It's been a long week of tuning up and talking for the American League champs. Twins first baseman Kent Hrbek has been asked so many questions, he started to ask his own.
Hey, what's the deal? Are you done now? Are you going to play or what?
No, I'm through. So watch for a little bit. Watch the young guys like you. It's your game now.
The Twins are having a ball, signing them and hitting them. The time between games has been long, but the Twins are promising to make the best of it.
Read about too many teams that say, well, we made it to the Super Bowl and that's fine, or we made it to the World Series and that's fine. And we didn't want that to happen because, you know, this could be your only chance ever to get here and you want to win it.
For the NL champs, the sooner the series gets here, the better. That's less time for somebody else to get hurt. Jack Clark is out for the balance, and Terry Pendleton, the team's #2 power guy, will miss at least game #1.
I'll see the Cardinals out there. I'm telling you, we got guys who can play now. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've been out of lineup a number of times, and we've won ball games.
The revamped Redbirds include the likes of Jim Lindeman, Tom Lawless, Jose Oquendo, and Tom Pagnazzi.
To be starting, it's a week ago, I'd never think of this.
I doubt anybody else did either. Mark Stevens, Channel 5, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, coming up in just a second, the world premiere of our Twins video, Go for Football in Hall of Shame.
Aren't you in that video?
My nude appearance.
Thank you, Mark. This afternoon, Bert Blyleven and his wife went to visit a 9-year-old boy at the University of Minnesota hospitals. Chris Sesente has leukemia, but like Bert, Chris is a fighter. And over the last 6 months, the two have formed a special friendship. Dr. Michael Breen has more.
This morning, Bert Blyleven was getting ready for the World Series. But this afternoon, Bert was doing something else.
Oh, how you feeling?
Bert and his wife, Patty, visited Chris Sasenti. Chris has been battling leukemia for most of his life. Bert first met Chris last June while he was acting as a spokesman for the Leukemia Research Foundation.
Well, I've known Chris for a couple months now, and I've talked to not only Chris, but I've seen him a couple months ago and just talked to his parents over the phone, and Chris and I are buddies.
In June, Bert took his new buddy to a Twins game to throw out the first ball. Since then, Chris has had a bone marrow transplant, a transplant that so far has had mixed results. The average child who gets a bone marrow transplant stays here at the University of Minnesota for 2 or 3 months, but Chris has been here for almost 5 months. The reason is his new bone marrow just hasn't been functioning as well as his doctors had hoped. For that reason, the Bly-Levins visit today couldn't have come at a better time.
I'm going to tie you up.
The Bly-Levins brought whistles and pom-poms, but the gift they'd most like to give Chris is a trip to the World Series.
We're going to try. Yes, you could. Yes, you're right. Right?
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Maybe just this being on TV will help Chris get on the field.
I think
But how would you feel if you could see a World Series game?
Oh, I'd love it.
If the trip is medically safe, it's a gift the Bly-Levins would love to give. For the Eyewitness News Update, I'm Dr. Michael Breen.
And we hope that you're going to join Stan and Mark Curtis and me live from the Dome tomorrow at 6:30 for our Twins Fever 87 World Series pregame show. We plan a lot of special things, including the views of comedian and Twins fan Louis Anderson, who, as Mark said, will also be with us there. That'll be great.
That should be something. On with the news here, Nancy Reagan's in the hospital tonight.
Came up with this.
Started down in Florida back in early spring. The Twins had a promise they could win this thing. With Kirby Puckett breaking windows left and right, we started thinking then that they could be right. Getting it down in Texas on a Monday night, saying, "Go, be good tonight." Go, 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 go. Go, Twins, go, go, go. On to the series show. Play and beat the NL4. Touch them all and then we'll know. Minnesota Twins be good.
With Kirby, Herbie, Bruno, and Gaetti, the Twins are playing defense like nobody. The pitch is getting stronger nearly every night. With Reardon coming on to turn out the lights. The Twins have faced the pennant and the NL West. Shouting out, they are the best. Go, 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 go. Go, Twins, go, go, go. On to the series show. Hey, and beat the NL4. Touch them all and then we'll know. Minnesota Twins be good. Woo! Go, 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 go. Go, Twins, go, go, go. On to the series show. Play and beat the NL4. Touch them all and then you'll know. Minnesota Twins be good. Go, Twins!
Bravo, bravo.
right.
Rupert's Orchestra performing it every night.
Yeah, they'll win the series, you'll win a Grammy.
Dick Clark.
Of Minnesota on national television.
That's right.
I saw both mayors of the Twin Cities on one of the networks. It's fabulous. It's so neat to see what we see every day. Now the whole nation is seeing.
That's right. And Ruth, by the minute, as we can see live outside the Dome right now, the crowd is building. All those lucky folks, they resume, have their tickets in their hot little hands. We're 35 minutes from game time. And I'll tell you, the interior of this place is ringed with banners hailing our heroes. Lots of them praising Tom. Well, there's one right there for Frank, the starting pitcher tonight. Well, a lot of them praising, of course, TK, Tom Kelly. Kelly's heroes, there's one right there. I've got to nominate him for Manager of the Year. What a guy. Good job. Well, we're just about ready to play ball, as we told you. We're it's 1987 World Series, just a little over a half hour away. And before we turn this whole thing over to ABC News, we want to do one thing before we close out our pregame special program tonight, and that is check out A Day in the Life of relief pitcher Jeff Reardon. It is because of Jeff Reardon and his interesting combination of the fire and ice, that wonderful look of his, that stony look, and that ripping fast, blazing fast fireball that has really played a key role in getting the Twins where they are tonight. Sit back and enjoy it, and we'll see you right after game number 1. Enjoy.
2 men on, 2 men down. Not a friendly face in this baseball town. I gotta make this fool swing. Gotta cut him down, or it's back to the farm. Might as well throw away my arm this time. And it's 1 strike. Caught him looking, and it's 2 strikes. Oh, now I'm cooking. Here's my hard one. As he swings, I see his eyes. Another boy with diamond dreams like mine. Oh, when the crowd's on its feet, how I live for this moment, the bitter and the sweet. Caught him looking.
Twins Fever 87 has been brought to you by McDonald's of Minnesota, by First Banks, members First Bank System, and by Nord Motor Company.
Our buyer goofed. Our loss is your gain. 20% off our manufacturer's suggested retail price. Bargains galore. You want it? We got it. Regularly $19.99, now just $19.98. We're practically giving it away. We buy in volume and pass the savings on to you. Sale ends Sunday. There's free balloons for the kiddies. Everything must go. The boss is out of town. We honor our competitors' coupons. No payments,
Knox,
no paperwork.
our prices are driving our competition into the ground.
There's a company that's been building ships to survive waves that rise higher than houses, winds that hit with the force of a freight train, and waters as cold as an Arctic winter. The company's called Hyundai, and now they've built a new car. The very affordable XL arrives in October, and you can be sure it's built like a Hyundai. We make cars that make sense.
Thousands of people in American business who understand that if you don't make dust, you eat dust. We offer the telecommunications services of U.S. West and Northwestern Bell. Nobody knows the trails better.
Odds are going wild. The Twins are #1. With all the talent on this team, we only just begun.
Lights, camera, and action on the Minnesota Twins, Juan Berenguer in particular. Berenguer's trademark gesture on the mound is the centerpiece of an original music video. It's called the Berenguer Boogie. Tonight after the game, take a behind-the-scenes peek at the making of the Berenguer video, only on Minnesota's news channel, 5.
This is your World Series station, 5.
The World Series will be up next, so I will not be seen again tonight. But O'Hara and Hotel will return. Let's sit back, relax, enjoy the game, huh?
ABC Sports and the Olympics, a long-standing partnership. Again at the Winter Games of...
Always held in Louisville. The Indy 500 is always run in Indianapolis. The Super Bowl site is always predetermined by the start of the season. But the World Series is a thoroughly movable feast, and your town never knows it's coming your way until days before. And if you live in the Minnesota Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul on this clear, cool night, the World Series has come to you. To the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, and for the first time in history, it will be played inside, under a dome of Teflon-coated fiberglass, before a crowd which has been known to make an airport runway seem tranquil by comparison. Settle back and enjoy the ride. Champion St. Louis Cardinals in Game 1 of the 1987 World Series. The Cardinals clinched the pennant Wednesday night in St. Louis by shutting out the Giants in the decisive 7th game of the playoffs. While the Twins already had their flag in hand by virtue of Monday's clinching victory over the Tigers. And guiding the two teams that got here are one rookie manager and one wily, crafty leader. The crowd is already at fever pitch. Pre-game warm-ups. It's the Metrodome, and it's Game 1 of the 1987 World Series, the St. Louis Cardinals against the Minnesota Twins. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to Minneapolis in Game number 1, and welcome to a very improbable matchup in this World Series. Consider first the Minnesota Twins, rarely in a pennant race through the 80s, the first time they've won the pennant since 1965. And remember that with a week to go in the 1986 regular season, the Minnesota Twins were in last place in the American League West. They eventually finished in front of Seattle, and then it took them 6.5 weeks to name a permanent manager. It turned out to be Tom Kelly. He was named in late November of '86, and he in his rookie year has led them to the promised land. Then there are the St. Louis Cardinals. Not improbable they're in the series because it's the 3rd time in 6 years, but under the circumstances, amazing. Tremendous adversity last year. They were never in the race. The same kind of adversity and an unbelievable amount of injuries in '87, but Whitey Herzog with paste and glue and tacks and the rest of it has them here. You know Jack Clark is not here. You know Terry Pendleton is here, but he is injured. In the Cardinals starting lineup tonight are 3 rookies and 1 veteran who hit .080. This is the World Series. You go figure it out. Game 1 coming up, and in just a moment, we'll take a look at some heroes of the past. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Michelin. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. By Aetna and its insurance agents and brokers across America. Work with the best in the business, Aetna. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Being in the World Series, it was just something extra, and you felt proud just to play in the World Series.
It is the thing. It is the only thing that matters in baseball. When you really get out of it and you say, I got a World Series ring.
I was lucky enough to play in 3 of them. And just the opportunity to be there and the opportunity to win, lose, or draw, whatever, you were there.
The thing about the World Series is the main thing is great to win.
The memories for the Cardinals started with their first series in 1926, a winning one when Grover Cleveland Alexander came out of the bullpen to strike out the Yankees' Tony Lazzeri with the bases loaded in Game 7. The 1934 series featured the Gas House Gang. Ducky Medwick's hard slide into Tiger third baseman Marv Owens so infuriated the crowd that Medwick was forced to leave the game for his own safety. The Cards won in 7. Johnny Pesky hesitated momentarily in the 7th game of the 1946 series and allowed the Cards' Enos Slaughter to score the winning run all the way from first. It was the most infamous play in Red Sox history until just last year. In 1968, Bob Gibson was so dominating that it looked like a simple game of pitch and catch, recording 17 strikeouts in Game 1, but the Tigers eventually prevailed in 7. Catcher Darrell Porter, a .231 hitter who struggled with major personal problems during the season, became the series MVP in 1982 as the Cards came back from a 3-2 deficit for a 7-game win. And in the Cardinals' last series appearance in 1985, umpire Don Denkinger's safe call on a George Orta ground ball in Game 6 led to a Kansas City Royals resurgence. The Cardinals were bombed the next night 11-0 and lost the series. Many people don't remember it, but the Washington Senators were the predecessor to the Minnesota Twins and won their first pennant and their only championship in 1924, led by an 18-year veteran, Walter Johnson. By 1965, the franchise, now based in Minnesota, hadn't appeared in the series in 32 years, but led by names like Killebrew, Oliva, Versailles, Grant, and Cott, the Twins took a 2-0 series edge over the Dodgers, but it came down to a Game 7 matchup between Cott and Koufax, both pitching on 2 days' rest. The Dodgers squeezed out a 2-0 win, and it would be 22 more years before the Twins would return to the World Series. Those were the heroes of the past. What about the present? As you look into the Minnesota Twins dugout, some familiar faces. There's Kirby Puckett, some anonymous faces, and the same thing over on the other side. The World Series, where Babe Ruth has been a hero, and so has Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, but so have Al Weiss and Brian Doyle. You never know. And the public address announcer here at the Metrodome is Bob Casey.
And now let's welcome the 1987 National League champion St. Louis Cardinals. First, the non-starters, the coaches, and the support staff. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Cardinals starting lineup for Game 1. The manager who has led the Cardinals to postseason play in 3 of the last 6 seasons, number 24, Whitey Herzog. Leading off is the Major League leading base stealer, number 29, left fielder Vince Coleman. Batting second, he posted a .303 batting average during the regular season, the highest mark of his career. Number 1, shortstop Ozzie Smith. Batting third, his 14-game winning RBIs equaled his career best. Number 28, second baseman Tommy Hearn. Batting fourth, his 2-run homer and 3 RBIs in Game 3 of the National League Championship Series helped lead the Redbirds to victory. Number 50, first baseman Jim Lindman. Batting fifth is 105 RBIs during the regular season, were a career best. Number 51, center fielder Willie McGee. Batting sixth, he posted a .381 average in the League Championship Series. Number 26, catcher Tony Pena. Batting seventh, his 3-run home run in Game 7 of the NLCS has propelled the Cardinals to the National League pennant. Number 11, right fielder Jose Oquendo. Batting eighth, making his first postseason appearance, number 19, designated hitter Tom Pagnacazzi. Batting ninth, a .333 hitter of the League Championship Series, number 12, third baseman Tom Wallace. Warming up in the right field bullpen, the 8th rookie pitcher ever to start a World Series opener, number 41, pitcher Joe McCrane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the 1987 American League champion, our own Minnesota Twins. First, the non-starters, the coaches, and the support staff. And now let's welcome tonight's starters for the Minnesota Twins. He led the Twins to their first pennant in 17 years, number 10, manager Tom Kelly. The leadoff hitter, he led the Twins in stolen bases in his first American League season, number 32, left fielder Dan Blandon. Batting second, he established career highs in batting average, runs, doubles, and triples during the regular season. Number 7, shortstop Craig Gagne. Batting third is .333. Batting average during the regular season was the highest by a Twin since Rod Carew in '78. Number 34, center fielder Kirby Puckett. Batting fourth, the most popular and valuable player in the League Championship Series, number 8, third baseman Gary Gaetti. Batting fifth, he holds the American League record for hitting safely in 12 straight series games, number 18, designated hitter Don Baylor. Batting sixth, a fourth-drop hitter with 2 home runs, 9 RBIs in the League Championship Series, Tommy Brunetsky. Batting seventh, he set a personal best in the regular season on home runs, walks, stolen bases, number 14, first baseman Kent Herman. Batting eighth, he helped the Twins flip the American League West title with the 4 RBI September 28th game in Texas, number 4, second baseman Steve Lepidozzi. Batting ninth, his season included personal best in games, home runs, and RBI, number 15, catcher Tim Lander. Warming up in the bullpen, the winningest left-hander in baseball the last 4 years, number 16, pitcher Frank Viola. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored tonight to have the Joint Services Cover Guard representing the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, and the Air Force. With us tonight is a lady whose career hit a high note a year ago when she was honored with the Grammy Award. She has sung at the White House and performed around the world, including a tour of Japan earlier this year with the famed Count Basie Orchestra. To honor America with our national anthem, Major League Baseball is proud to present Miss Diane Schurer.
Okay, we got it. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, 'twas so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
be back with Game 1 of the 1987 World Series after this message from Major League Baseball and a word from your local station.
Continued at a ballpark near you.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Monday at
against the American League champion Minnesota Twins in Game 1 of the 1987 World Series. And this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Merrill Lynch. At Merrill, we believe your world should know no boundaries. By Budweiser, Beechwood Aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. And by GE, we bring good things to life, from aircraft engines to appliances to plastics to financial services. And over 54,000 filling the Metrodome in downtown Minneapolis. Game 1 of the World Series, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Minnesota Twins. I'm Al Michaels, and first let's begin with the Minnesota Twins, who tonight become the first team in the history of baseball to go into the World Series having been outscored during the regular season. They were outscored, they were out-hit in terms of average, they were out-homered, the opposition had more stolen bases, and they were out-pitched in terms of earned run average. They were out everything, except at this point, there are 13 teams in the American League that are out of the World Series, and the Minnesota Twins are in. As I turn to Tim McCarver, people want to know, how did the Minnesota Twins win the American League pennant?
Well, you told me to go figure it out a little while ago, so I decided to do that. Even though the Minnesota Twins won only 85 ball games, which was, by the way, the lowest of the divisional championship teams, they took charge the latter part of August. As a matter of fact, from the last part of August to the last part of September, they were 18-9, and they just obliterated the Detroit Tigers in the American League Championship Series, winning 4 out of 5 with near-perfect baseball. And speaking of perfection, that's exactly what the Cardinals had the first half of the year. They were 9.5 in front of Montreal and the Mets in the middle of July. It was dwindled to a game and a half in early September. They hung on, and I guess you could say they are limp and lame, but because of their pitching and their deep pitching staff, 5 left-handers, 4 right-handers, they are, I think, a bit of an edge in the series so far.
And Whitey Herzog able to add an extra pitcher, Lee Tunnell, Jack Clark in effect on the disabled list. And on the subject of pitching, who better to tell us about that and the difference between the way these two staffs are set up than Jim Palmer?
Well, contrasting what Timmy said, one of the weaknesses that the Minnesota Twins has is in the depth of their starting pitching. And that's something you really can't hide over 162 games, but you can do it in a playoff or a World Series. The two guys they're going to rely on are Blyleven and Viola. Viola will pitch tonight. You'll see the record, 45 and 28 in games they started, and you can see the records of the other starters. Now, also, another thing that's very important, earned run average of Viola and Blyleven about 3.5 runs. The rest of the pitching staff about 5.5. So, and the Cardinals have great depth, as Tim said. I favor the Twins only because of the injury to Terry Pendleton. He had such a great year, they're going to miss him offensively. He might hit a little bit left-handed, but they will miss his glove at third.
And tonight in Game 1 of the World Series, the pitching matchup, a rookie against a veteran, first-year man Joe McGrain against Frank Viola.
GE is a family of many different kinds of people, and while it may not look like it, they all...
Fifth in the all-time home run list with 573 career home runs, and ranked second only to Babe Ruth among the American League sluggers. He spent 22 seasons in the major leagues and is a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Making the toss from the commissioner's box on the third base side, the Twins' own Harmon Killebrew.
Harmon Killebrew, his uniform number retired, and the Twins take the field. everybody waving their Homer hankies as you look at the St. Louis lineup tonight. The speedy Vince Coleman to lead off, and Ozzie Smith and Tommy Herr batting third. Jim Lindemann, rookie first baseman, cleanup. Willie McGee, the veteran, in center. Tony Pena does the catching. Game 7 hero, Jose Oquendo, is in right. The designated hitter is a rookie, Tom Pagnazzi, and Tom Lawless, he of the 080 average, bats ninth. Defensively, the Twins in the outfield, Dan Gladden, who came over from the Giants in the spring, Kirby Puckett and Tom Brunansky in the outfield. The infield, the G-men at third and short, Gaetti and Gagne with Lombardozzi at second, and Ken Herbeck, the native Minnesotan, at first. Tim Laudner does the catching. Frank Viola is on the mound, and one of the features we'll have for you during the series, Paul Molitor and Tony Gwynn have assessed the pitchers, and Molitor of the Milwaukee Brewers tells us about Frank Viola.
Frank Viola's development of a changeup over the past 2 years has taken him from being a good pitcher to a great pitcher. The one thing he has to be careful about there is he occasionally might tip his pitches, holding his fastball lower in the glove as opposed to his changeup or his breaking ball, which he holds higher up into the webbing. The Cardinals should have some success stealing third against him, but he does a very good job of holding runners on first base.
And there he is, and he's a man who has not lost a game in this building in almost 5 months, Frank Viola.
Well, along with a great Twins home record, which was 56-25 during the regular season, another 2 in the playoffs, Frank was 11-3 here, and this is a park where they score him a lot of runs. Paul Molitor told us about the fact that he has an excellent changeup, but he also throws about 95 miles, not 95, about 92 miles per hour, has a good curveball. And he said, the way I am going to have to get the St. Louis Cardinals out is basically not go 2-0, 3-1. If they get on, I'm not going to change my game. He does hold runners on very well at first base. Only 6 out of 15 have been able to steal on him this year. A very accomplished left-handed pitcher.
Now in postseason play, 6 umpires, and they're split in the World Series. 3 American, 3 national, as denoted on the right. Dave Phillips calls the balls and strikes. Lee Wire at first. Greg Kosk will be at second. John McSherry, national, third. Ken Kaiser of the American down the line in left. Terry Tata down the line in right. And that, of course, means in a 7. Has been brought to you by Budweiser. Beats with age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. By AT&T, the right choice. And by Aetna and its insurance agents and brokers across America. Work with
Kent Herbeck and Tom Brunansky. Could you sense the bats would come alive the way they did here tonight?
Well, who left? G-Man left inning with a base hit, and then Baylor followed with a base up the middle, Tommy. And then things start going, I think, and everything started rolling. The people got behind us, start going, and things just started. I think we got 5 or 6 hits in a row, and things started going well for us.
All 7 men that come to the plate score, and in that 4th inning, Tom Brunansky, explain what the feeling was like out there on the field.
Well, we had some runners on early. We were just a little frustrated because we couldn't get any runs across, and it was kind of scary. You look up, no hits, but we had chances with some walks, and we knew if we put some good at-bats off him that he was going to give up some hits.
Does this mean this is going to be a short series?
No, not by any means. We got to come out and play tomorrow.
Talk a bit about Gladden's grand slam, if you will, for a second, Kent.
I was standing on third base. I was just hoping to get the ball in the outfield with 2 strikes on him, and the guy hung him a curveball, and Danny got all of it, and it was kind of fun standing there watching it.
Everybody talks about the crowd, but boy, they went crazy at that particular time.
They did. They went real crazy. Really, towards the end of the game, they were pretty mellow compared to the last few nights here. But they sensed that we had a big enough lead and really didn't have to. I think they liked that one because they didn't have to get a little nervous up there.
How about this World Series? Is it all it's made out to be?
Well, I'd say I haven't really felt it too much because when a few guys mentioned that we were sitting on the bench and it's almost seemed like another game because we were at home in our own ballpark. You know, we had more media and anything like that, but there was no added pressure.
Congratulations to both of you, gentlemen. Let's now go down to the field and Mark Curtis. Mark?
Rob Lear, a 10-1 win for the Twins in Game 1 of the World Series. If they were under any pressure, they sure didn't show it, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you, I was a little worried until Mr. Gaetti got the first hit. And I felt that after we got our first hit off the guy that we're going to really get him.
It seemed in the early stages of this game when the Cardinals took that 1-0 lead that this looked like a typical Cardinals win. They chip away, they hold on to a 1-0 or a 2-0 lead and wind up winning the game.
Well, it's funny, you know, I've pitched in games and big games like this before, and your adrenaline runs so hard and your heart's pumping so fast that it actually takes away from your good stuff. And that looked like what happened to Frank tonight until about the 3rd or 4th inning where he sort of overcame that little hump, and then he got into a good groove. And it's one of the best games I've seen Frank Viola pitch.
All right, we've got some tape of the big blow tonight, the grand slam by Danny Gladden. It came in that 7-run fourth inning, and there was never a question about it.
Well, it was. That's a big blow. You know, when you string together 6 or 7 singles like we did in that inning, and then you get the big blow, you can almost see the Cardinals wilt, and that's the big blow that the team needed.
Was there any sensing in talking to Danny before this game that he was due? Was he particularly jacked up tonight?
Well, no, not really. Danny's the kind of guy that's a real intense player anyway. I was really looking for Kirby Puckett. That was the guy I would have picked to really bust out tonight. But, you know, that's the way this team's been all year. It's been somebody different. The bottom half of the order carried us in the league championship series. And then tonight, Danny Gladden gets 5 RBIs. So that's a typical Twins win.
You know, something that we talked about at 6 that now I think you have to worry about. If you're Whitey Herzog, was it the right decision to go with Joe McGrain?
Well, if I'm a manager, you can never second-guess Whitey Herzog. He's the best manager in baseball, but it's got to be tough on a rookie pitcher going out there and pitching in a game like this. You could see it happen to Les Straker in Detroit, and Joe McGrain today coming back to his hometown where he lived, and I know it had to be tough on him.
How tough do you think it'll be for the Cards to shake off a 10-1 loss in an opening game?
Well, really, a 10-1 loss is a lot easier to take than, say, a 2-1 or 1-0 game. If you lose a 2-1 game or 1-0 game and you play good and you lose, it seems to hurt you more than a game like this. You know, they'll go to the hotel tonight and blow this game off, and they'll come back ready to play tomorrow.
And one of the things we talk about now is pitching matchups for tomorrow, Burt against Cox.
Danny Cox is probably the guy they'd like to see on the hill tonight. I'm sure that Whitey wanted to give him that 1 extra day's rest. I saw him pitch on TV the other night. He's not going to walk anybody. He's going to come right at us with a good hard fastball and a good straight changeup, something a right-hander in this league doesn't feature very much. So it's going to be a good game. If Burt's got his curveball working, I think we'll be in good shape.
He's got to be particularly juiced up after watching Frankie out there tonight.
Well, you just got to be really, really impressed with Viola. I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't a blooming of a Cy Young winner tonight.
All right, right now let's go back up into the corridor where Rob Lear is standing by with the G-Man, Gary Gaetti.
We are on, Gary Gaetti, and you guys were on tonight, and you sparked that big fourth inning. Just from a confidence standpoint, you guys must be coming away feeling pretty good about yourselves.
Yeah, we can make it happen here, and we did. And it's like, you know, when it finally gets going, I mean, we're just going to be tough to stop here. And that was a good game for us, just for the fact that we got it out of the way, and now maybe we can relax, you know, and come out and do what we normally do.
To have that crowd behind you, you certainly know how to get that fire ignited as well.
They don't really need any help. They're doing pretty good on their own, and you know, that fires us up. It really does, you know, and it's you know, a lot of energy out there, and we like them and they like us, and they seem to like what they're doing, and just makes for a real good game.
People were going to make a lot about this club responding to the postseason pressure in World Series. Did it feel like this was a World Series game, the kind you've watched on television from your own home?
Yeah, it did at first, and then you know, once you get the butterflies over with, then it's just another game. It really is. I really think you got to approach it that way. It is just another game, and you know, the things before and after the game are a little more magnified, but it really is. It's just another game.
Congratulations again, Gary Gaetti, as a contributor to this big cause. See, we didn't have you hanging around so long here tonight.
Good. Thanks.
Congratulations again. Mark Curtis.
All right, Mike Smithson, before we throw it back upstairs to Stan and Ruth, I want to ask you, a 10-1 win, is there any danger of this team coming out overconfident tomorrow?
Well, I don't think so. I think tomorrow's going to be a big game. The guys know it. We want to take a 2-game-0 lead to St. Louis to give Lester a little, you know, take a little pressure off Les. So I think they're going to come out and be ready to play tomorrow. I really do.
All right, Mike Smithson, thanks for being with us. Right now, let's go up to Stan and Ruth.
All right, thank you, Mark Curtis. You know, for every single fan inside the Metrodome tonight, there may have been perhaps 1,000 more watching television all around the country. Any place with a TV was sure to draw a crowd, especially if it served refreshments. Whether it's with a group or alone, the audience watching the World Series game may be the biggest Minnesota audience ever to watch a baseball championship, Stan.
And our fans of Minnesota are certainly getting, and deserving, we'd say, national attention. They are in spades. Pat Milan is out there live among the people who stand up and cheer. Pat, take it away. And welcome to Twins Fever 87. Isn't this amazing? In just a matter of minutes, this Metrodome is cleared out. It's been reduced to kind of a hollow cave right now, a quiet place. We are going to concentrate now in this post-game program on the Twins. And Do they deserve your attention tonight?
I think so. You know, I think the Cinderella team is not going to turn into a pumpkin before this World Series is over. I think they are going all the way. I predict they're going to win it in 5 games.
A steamroller, folks.
Let's go to Mark Curtis now, who has more on what we just saw. Fabulous, Mark.
Yeah, it was 10-1, and you know, I don't know if you can even call them a Cinderella team anymore. What about it, Lambo?
Well, I don't know. We've kind of been the underdog all year long, and we kind of enjoy that type of reputation. And
we're looking at your home run now, by the way.
Oh, is that right? I wish I could see it right now. That's biggest thrill of my lifetime to hit a home run in the World Series, and it really didn't hit me till I get back out on the field, and I started thinking about it and thinking about all the people, all my family and relatives all over the country watching it, and kind of got a little goosebumps after thinking about it.
You told me that after this offseason, you may not go back to Florida. You might stay here.
These fans have been fantastic. I wish we could sell another 100,000 tickets to these games. I have a house in Florida, and I think I'm going to plan on staying up here in Minnesota during the winter. My wife and I have really enjoyed the people up here.
You know, you guys didn't seem nervous at all before the game. You didn't seem like a bunch of guys who had never played in a serious game, and yet 10-1. Let's be honest about it, has to exceed your expectations.
Well, it really does, and I think you're right. We weren't as nervous going into this game as we were the opening game of the LCS, and I know personally that I felt much more comfortable and relaxed going into this game tonight, having been through, an opening game and a championship series, and being through all of the, seeing the spectacle here at the Dome with the fans and the noise.
People will talk about the 10-1 win 2 ways. First, what does it do to them? And secondly, what does it do for you guys?
The 10-run lead is that, well, it's a game that we haven't played in yet in the League Championship Series. I mean, they were all close games, tense games, and it just gave you a chance to sit back, relax, and I don't know about sit back, but gave you a chance to relax and feel comfortable out there.
Lambo, thanks for being with us.
All right, Jordan.
Steve Lombardozzi, who had one of the knocks tonight, along with Danny Gladden, of course. A solid, consistent game all the way around. You know, coming in, as we were saying, a bunch of guys who had never played in a World Series game before. They showed no signs of nerves. Here's the highlights. Twins didn't get their first hit of the game until the 4th, but once they started, they couldn't stop. They opened the inning with 4 straight hits. This single to center by Herbeck scored Gary Gaetti and Don Baylor, and the Twins were on their way. After a walk to Steve Lombardozzi, Timmy Laudner kept it going. Laudner wrapped a single through the hole to right. Tom Bernansky scored, and it was 3-1 Twins. Bases were loaded and still nobody out when Dan Gladden finished the Cardinals in Game 1. You saw it earlier in the show, and I'm sure you'll see it again. Gladden lines a shot to deep left center. See ya. That one is over the glass for the grand slam of the game. First grand slam in the World Series since 1970, and the first ever in the opening game. 4 RBIs for Gladden, and the Dome went crazy. He wound up with 5 on the night. But that was more than enough, but the Twins weren't through yet. In the 5th, Lambo joined the hit parade with a long ball of his own. Lambo really put the wood to it. A 2-run homer, and it was 9-1. Gladden knocked in another run with a double in the 7th. Frank Viola looked great throughout the night. Perfect start to Game 1 of the World Series. Final again, 10-1, Twins over St. Louis. And as we look back at this game, you just came out of the clubhouse. What are the guys talking about? Are they already thinking about tomorrow?
Well, it's really pretty subdued up there. There's a lot of press and stuff up there, and a lot of guys are actually going and hiding somewhere. But it's more or less the same attitude they've had all year. We won tonight, but let's forget about it. We got another tough game tomorrow, and we'll come out and just do the best we can. And that's the attitude that's in the clubhouse right now.
Does it concern you that we really never saw what the Cardinal speedsters are capable of doing?
Well, if you had to write a script for tonight's game, if you had to sit down before the game and write a script, it's exactly what you had to do. You had to go out and score some runs, get the Cardinals down early, take the running game away from them, and then just play some long ball here in the Dome. And that's exactly what the ball club went out and did tonight.
And you'll join us again tomorrow?
Oh, of course.
Mike Smithson, and right now let's go back to the studio. And Mark Stevens, a busy day in sports all the way around, Mark.
Oh, it sure was, Mark. Not everybody was able to watch tonight's World Series game. The Gopher hockey team, for example, had to work tonight. They were in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and the Gophers tonight beat the Sioux. The final score out there was 5-2. The Gophers are unbeaten for this season. Next week, they will host Northern Michigan at Mariucci Arena. An early start for the North Stars today, but a late surge by Winnipeg turned their matinee into a flop. The Jets beat the Stars today 5-2 at the Met Center. Goaltending
plays steady and consistent and who made the cover of Sports Illustrated, Greg Gagne, is standing by with Robbie Lear.
All those things. Yes, the cover of Sports Illustrated, a 10-1 lopsided win in the World Series. You must not have any complaints at this hour.
No, not right now. I think Dano tonight took a little pressure off us tonight after that big home run and, well, a grand slam, make it 7-1. You know, it feels great. We got another game tomorrow. We have to get ready for that one tomorrow.
In your wildest imaginations, did you ever dream that this club would put the runs on the board like you did here tonight?
Well, I guess, you know, we're ready to erupt any time, I guess. 1 through 9, you don't know who's going to be the hero each night. So I guess, no, we're not really surprised, even though, you know, we don't know what their pitchers are throwing. It's the first time we've faced them. But I guess we're capable of doing that.
Now we have to wait to see what you guys can do for an encore. That ought to be interesting tomorrow. Let's go back to Mark Curtis down on the field.
Rob, it was a night of special heroes. Frank Viola had to be one of them. You know, he was probably a little bit upset that he couldn't make his brother's wedding today, but now he's the Twins' best man. In fact, he wouldn't have even been the pitcher here in Game 1, as we were saying, had he gone back to New York. You see, Viola's brother got married today. This is footage from the ceremony. Originally, Frank was supposed to be the best man in the wedding, as we said, but a little thing called the World Series left Frank Viola standing up for the Twins instead.
This is the one excuse he said is allowed for me. You know, it's a dream of mine. He's known that. It's a dream for the whole family come true. I just wish that, you know, it worked out something differently, but I sent a tape to him. They're going to show it as the best man's toast, and hopefully that'll be enough to show how much we love him.
What are you going to do about a best man now?
Well, we got a so-called relief pitcher coming in for the save. He works for me. He's a friend of mine, Bob Ragazine, and I think it'll work fine. My fiance's happy with it, and it'll be good. And my brother's supposedly doing something special for me, to do a toast or something on VCR.
Now, a 10-1 loss for the Cards. You wonder how that will affect them, what Whitey Herzog will say to them. They've got Danny Cox on the mound tomorrow, and Bert Blyleven will go for the Twins. It should be another great matchup. Bert, of course, is coming off 2 straight LCS wins. We'll see if he can keep it going. Right now, let's go back upstairs to Stan and Ruth.
Yeah,
Thank
tomorrow
you,
the score is going to be 20-1, I think.
We've been trying to figure out what the headline writers, how they're going to banner this story in the newspapers, in the Star Trib and the Pioneer Press Dispatch tomorrow. How about tons of fun, 10-1? Huh? Egad, Twins are happy.
That's great.
Cards are sad. I don't know. They're going to have fun with it.
I think they're watching. You
I
got
think
a job.
so. Okay, you can go ahead and steal it. Go ahead and plagiarize. Next up for you, we have really, I don't believe,
With some memories of the World Series they will never forget. And I think the Twins are probably savoring those memories, too. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and in fact, they're going to go down in history in the form of a music video.
Yeah, guess who the star is, huh?
Who?
Twins pitcher Juan Berenguer is the star of this musical video. It's called the Berenguer Boogie. That's right. Tonight, Kevin Berger goes behind the scenes to show us and tell us how it was made in this exclusive report.
Scene 1. He couldn't help but boogie the night he struck out all those Tigers. Anyone who's ever been told they were washed up could relate to Juan Berenguer's glee in the playoffs. The revenge especially sweet since this team released him. This manager said he was through. Berenguer proved he was not, with style. Scene 2, Paisley Park, Prince's Chanhassen Production Center. Walzer Automotive and Borton Volvo put up $25,000 to finance an original music video based on Berenguer's gesture.
Somewhere we're going to kick in 6 twins leaning in and shouting something.
Producer-director Michael Barnard will do what usually takes 6 months in 48 hours.
The underlying riff could be El Gasolino, Señor Smoke, El Gasolino.
The Castle family, a songwriting and performing group, brainstorms the music, composing on the fly, scratching lyrics into a spiral notebook. Someone suggests dancers.
Can I ask you what you want these girls to be wearing?
Sequin leotards.
The song takes shape.
Yeah, click, 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 you know. Dun, 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 dun.
2 hours into the meeting, Berenguer, fresh from practice, strolls in for an update.
These people are immediately writing you a song.
And as he hears it for the first time, he likes the song bearing his name.
The Berenguer Boogie. Wow. Hey. Okay, anyway, then the chorus goes. The Berenguer Boogie. El Gasolino. The Berenguer Boogie. El Gasolino. Look at that world, 'cause when he's hot, he strikes a bad.
Scene 3. It's the middle of the night and tape is rolling as the Castle family produces Berenguer's anthem. As dawn breaks, the instrumentation is added, the song is constructed. Scene 4. We're back at Paisley Park. The Castle family delivers the finished melody the video will build on. Berenguer and his baseball buddies show up to go showbiz.
1, 2, 3, snap, snap.
Scene 5. Inside on the soundstage, dancers rehearse, lights are set, cameras move into place.
Quiet on the set, please.
Former Viking Matt Blair is pressed into a cameo appearance. Take one, Matt.
Smile.
It's not as easy as it looks. In an adjoining recording studio, Juan Berenguer gets a coaching session different than the kind he usually sees.
We know that we can. Can. Yeah, very good.
Berenguer's voice is added to the music. He'll lip sync on camera later. Take 2, Juan.
We know that we can.
Tape's rolling. Try again.
We know that we can.
That's it. That'd have done it. Right there.
Play it back for the director.
We know that we can. Good. Homer. All right.
It's doubtful this experience will make the pitcher from Panama look to video for a post-baseball career. But it's clear while it lasts, he's enjoying it. For Berenguer, the fun of the video and the fun of the Twins season make the present sweet indeed. And like the best things we all experience, this fun came without planning, it came unexpectedly, and it will never quite go away.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Look out, world, 'cause when it's hot, he strikes those batters down.
That's going to be the new uniform. Trench coat,
Yeah, I wanted
fedora,
one of those
shades.
outfits,
That's it.
I like Matt Blair's part.
Berenguer Boogie, yeah. The Berenguer Boogie will be available, among other places, at Best Buy, Music.
The Sweetwater, it works pretty well. The sweet music, I should say. It works pretty well.
Now, when that guy has his sign up here, you're 15 and now you're 16-0.
16-0, 4-0 decisions, and we won those 4-0 decisions, so that's 20 wins. So tonight, he couldn't get any World Series tickets, so I took care of him for him, and it's just a little gratitude to show him how much I appreciate it.
Now, right now, we're looking at some tape back at the station of your pitching performance tonight. You said you were really zeroed in on Timmy's glove.
It was unbelievable. As much as the fans, the noise was just tremendous tonight. But for some reason, when I was out in the mound tonight, I just didn't hear him. I was so intense. And I think it was just knowing what a big day it was in the whole Viola family. My brother got married this afternoon. This was the best wedding gift I could have given him, and it just topped the Viola day off.
Needless to say, the band didn't get much work at the wedding tonight because they're all huddled around a TV somewhere.
God, his wife probably divorced him right after the wedding because of it. But no, it was just a great game tonight. The guys came out. My job is just to keep the team close. Tonight, the guys just let the offense do the talking, and it's great.
No doubt about it, a 10-win win will do miraculous things as far as confidence heading into Game 2 tomorrow in Burt.
Yeah, no question. And it really intensifies the fans, too, and they could only help more.
Best of luck to you. Thanks for being with us. Frank Viola, big win tonight. Back upstairs to Stan and Ruth.